All right, are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right.
Start the movie.
Hold on. Let me bring up my comments just in case anybody joins this. All right. We'll skip all the intro. The old man. Tiak Wayland straightened her back with a sigh, flexing her shoulders to ease her cramped muscles. She tossed the soapy bar rag into the water pail and glanced around the empty room. It was getting harder to keep up the old inn. There was a lot of love rubbed into the warm finish of the wood, but even love and tallow couldn't hide the cracks and splits in the well-used tablets or prevent the customers from sitting on an occasional splinter. The inn of the last home was not fancy, not like some she'd heard about in Haven. It was comfortable. The living tree in which it was built wrapped in ancient arms around it lovingly, while the wall and fixtures were crafted around the boughs of the trees with such care as to make it impossible to tell where the nature's work left off and man's began. The bar seemed to ebb and flow like a polished wave around the living wood that supported it. The stainless glass in the window panes cast welcoming flashes of vibrant color across the room. Shadows were dwindling as
What?
noon approached. The inn of the last home would soon be open for business. Tika looked around and smiled in satisfaction. The tables were clean and polished. All she had left to do was sweep the floor. She began to shove aside the heavy wooden benches as Odik emerged from the kitchen enveloped in
Oh,
fragrant
Dick.
steam. Should be a brisk day for both the weather and the business, he said, squeezing his stout body behind the bar. He began to set out mugs, whistling cheerfully. I'd like the business cooler and the weather warmer, said Tika, tugging at a bench. I walked my feet off yesterday and got a little thanks and less tips. Such a gloomy crowd. Everybody nervous, jumping at every sound. I dropped a mug at last and night, and I swear Retark drew his sword. Pah! Odik snorted.
Oh, you
Retark's
scared me.
a Soul Seeker guard. They're always nervous. You would be too if you had to go to work for Hedrick the Faint. Watch it, Tika
Hedrick the
warned.
Fiend.
Odik shrugged. Unless the high theocrat can fly now, he wouldn't be listening to us. I'd hear his boots on the stairs before he could hear me. But Tika noticed. He lowered his voice as he continued. The residents of Solus. Alright, I need a drink. Pause, everybody.
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. It's a good story so far.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Let me crack open a nice fucking cold brew.
Yeah, let me drink one too.
Are we playing tonight, Zach, or is it story night all night?
No, it's not story night all night. This is
Hell yeah.
just a little fun, dude.
I got a chicken, a chicken delight from fucking what's it called? Costco.
Yeah.
As a, mm. You heard that? Yeah, crunch, dude.
Yeah, man. Crunch it up.
Things are good.
All right.
Crunch it up.
Are you ready?
Hmm.
Where do we leave
Oh,
off?
fucking Cindy, this is a Four Loco. Why'd you give me this?
Drink the Four Loco, dude. Okay. But Deacon noticed. He lowered his voice as he continued. The residents of Solus won't put up with much more. Mark my words. People disappearing, people dragged off to who knows where. It's a sad time. He shook his head. Then he brightened. But it's good for business. Until he comes down, Tika said gloomily. She grabbed the broom and began sweeping briskly. Even theocrats need to fill their bellies and wash the fire and brimstone from their throats, Odik chuckled. It must be thirsty work, hard. What? I don't know this word, dude.
Spell it out.
Oh, it's haranguing. That's what it is. Work haranguing people about the new god's day in the day out. He is in every he is in here every night. Tika stopped her sweeping and leaned against the bar. Odik, she said seriously, her voice subdued. There's other talk, too. Talk of war. Armies massing in the north. And there are these strange hooded men in town, hanging around with the high theocrat asking questions. Odik looked at the 19-year-old girl fondly, reaching out and patted her cheek.
Mm. I'm getting a little frisky.
He'd been father to her ever since their own had vanished so mysteriously. He tweaked her red curls. War? Pooh, he sniffed. There's been talk of war ever since the cataclysm. It's just talk, girl. Maybe the theocrat makes it up just to keep people in line. I don't know, Tika frowned. The door opened. Both Tika and Odik started in alarm and turned to the door. They had not heard footsteps on the stairs, and that was uncanny. The inn of the last home was built high in the branches of the mighty Vollenwood tree, as it was every other building in Solus, with the exception of the blacksmith shop. The townspeople had decided to take the trees during the terror and chaos following the cataclysm, and thus Solus became a tree town, one of the few truly beautiful wonders left in Krynn. Sturdy wooden bridge walks connected the houses and businesses perched high above the ground, where 500 people went above their daily lives. The inn of the last home was the largest building in Solus, and stood 40 feet off the ground. Stairs ran around the ancient valley wood's gnarled trunk. As Odik had said, any visitor in the inn would have heard approaching long before he was seen. Alright,
That's
ready
good
to play a
shit.
game?
I'm playing right now.
That was a good story, man.
Oh, you're playing right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've been playing, Zach. We've been on for like the last hour.
Where have you been?
What are you playing, Paladins? Because that's what I just downloaded.
No.
Overwatch?
Yeah.
Jesse and I were done playing Paladins. We're sick of that shit.
Yeah, we finished a long time ago.
Oh, I need the light to read some more. Maybe I'll just keep reading. I got 3 viewers. You guys like the reading or what?
I like
Yeah,
reading.
it's good. And it's good for you. Good exercise of the mind.
I'm a good reader, right?
So you learned a new word, haranguing.
I know haranguing. I just didn't... It was a very long word.
So you learned it, right?
Yeah, I know haranguing, man. I know haranguing. I knew haranguing.
I knew it
Good to be
already,
embarrassed,
damn it.
Zach.
Alright. Anyways. But neither Tika nor Odik had heard the old man. Invite me when you're done, by the way.
Okay.
He stood in the doorway, leaning on a worn oak staff, and he peered around the inn. The tattered hood of his plain gray robe was drawn over his head, its shadow obscuring the features of his face except for his hawkish, shining eyes. "Can I help you, old one?" Tika asked the stranger, exchanging. Sorry, it was split up there in the book, so it tripped me out.
Okay, nobody's laughing over here, Zach.
Nobody's laughing over here.
Let me read this sentence over again. "Can I help you, old one?" Tika asked the stranger, exchanging worried glances with Odik. Was the old man a seeker spy? The old man blinked. "You open?" "Well," Tika hesitated. "Certainly," Odik said, smiling broadly. "Come in, Greybeard. Tika, find our guest a chair. He must be tired after that long climb." "Climb?" Scratching his head, the old man glanced around the porch, then looked down to the ground below. "Oh yes, climb. A great many stairs." He hobbled inside, then made a playful swipe at Tika with his staff. "Get along with your work, girl." "I'm capable of finding my own chair." Tika shrugged, reaching for her broom, and began sweeping, keeping her eyes on the old man. He stood in the center of the inn, peering around, as though confirming the location and position of every table and chair in the room. The common room was large and bean-shaped. I got that one right. Large and bean shaped, and that one was split up. I got it right.
Large and bean shape.
Yeah, that was a hard word there. Wrapping around the trunk of the Valenwood. The tree's small limbs supported the floor and ceiling. He looked with particular interest at the fireplace, which stood about 3/4 of the way back into the room, the only stonework in the inn. It was obviously crafted by the dwarven hands to appear to be part of the tree, winding naturally through the branches above. A bend next to the side of the fire pit was stacked high with cordwood and pine logs brought down from high mountains. No resident of Solus would consider burning the wood of their own great trees. There was a back route out of the kitchen. It was 40-foot drop, but a few of Otis' customers found the setup very convenient. So did the old man. He muttered. No, he muttered. It's just something on my book. It looks like mustard. He muttered satisfied comments to himself as his eyes went from one area to another. Then, to Tika's astonishment, he suddenly dropped his staff, hitched up the sleeves of his robes, and began rearranging the furniture.
Damn, what's up with my fucking volume? It's super low. Or maybe I just have you really high, Zach.
Tika stopped sweeping and leaned on her broom. "What are you doing? The table's always been there." A long, narrow table stood in the center of the common room. The old man dragged it across the floor and shoved it up against the trunk of the huge Valenwood, right across from the fire pit. This is really annoying, Jesse. Alright, we'll save the book for another time. The Finder is good, though. Shall I read the Finder?
That's a good one. You ready for a knockout?
Let me read a little passage from it.
Why seek answers when we do not know the question?
Now that was a good reading.
Yeah, I think I had enough reading of that book anyways. For now.
Where'd you learn to read like that? Must have had a good public school teacher.
No. What's wrong with my OBS shit, dude? What the fuck? I'm gonna close out of this shit. Bye, everybody. I'm restarting stream.